Have you ever gone into something and you had certain expectations, but then when you got into it, it was crazy. It went directions you never thought it would go. Well, I want to share a story with you. Stay tuned. This last weekend, my husband and I and two of our sons decided to go on a hike. It was one my oldest son said it would be really easy, even though it was 10 miles to the end and then 10 miles back. So it had been a 20-mile hike. But he said mostly it is flat. So that sounds really reasonable. Didn't sound like it'd be that difficult, not a lot of elevation. Let's go for it. So we started out early, driving a couple of hours to the trailhead. It was pretty nice. It was near a lake. It was amongst trees. It was beautiful. And it was a nice sunny day. And amongst the trees, it made it not so hot. So we were really having a great time. Well, we got farther in and we got to an area where the mosquitoes just got horrible. And we were getting bitten all over and our pace picked up quite a bit. We were trying to time ourselves to make sure we made it to the end by a certain time so we could get back out before dark. But those mosquitoes, they were driving us crazy. It kind of reminds me about trials. Do you sometimes feel like the trials of life are like mosquitoes that are just attacking you and you just can't seem to get through them? Well, there is a power, the God in heaven, that can help us through those trials and struggles, even though it seems impossible. Well, I tell you, we got to the end of our trail, and the end of the trail actually came to a road. We thought, wonder if this road goes back towards where we're parked. We had no idea, but there was a truck that came by, and so one of my boys went out and stopped them and said, "Does this go back in this certain direction?" And they said, "Yes, it does." But there was one key point or question he forgot to ask. We thought, this is great. It's a gravel road. We'll just head on this road and that way we can avoid those mosquitoes. Now, instead of being flat, we started into some elevation and we kept going and going and going. And our elevation thus far had been about 800 feet. But I have to tell you, when we got done, it was over 3,000 feet that we had gone. So you can just see the elevation that we had. We had quite a bit of elevation to go. But at the time we didn't know it, so it wasn't too bad. Well, when we got up to the top of one area, we seen a sign. About this time, we had gone between 11 and 12 miles. We were thinking, 20 miles round trip is what it was supposed to be. But then we came to this sign, and the sign said to the destination we needed to go to, that it was 18 miles. And we were like, oh no, we've gone 11 plus miles, and now we have to add 18 miles onto that. So instead of going 20 miles, we are gonna be going 27, 28, 29. We weren't really sure, but we just kept plugging away. And that's what we have to do in life. No matter what troubles come our way, we just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and just keep going. So that's what we did. We just kept going. It started getting harder and harder. I think we got to about mile 20. My husband got to about mile 20, and there was a truck that came by, and he got a ride down to where our car was parked. I was pretty determined that I wanted to make it to the end. And my other two boys were as well. But my youngest son started having some problems with his foot, and about mile 24, he had to give up. My husband actually came driving back up to get him. So what my oldest son and I said, okay, you guys just go down a mile and park, and then we will catch up to you, and then we'll decide a mile at a time when we might want to give up. So we were pretty determined, though, that we wanted to be finishers. And I have to tell you that about mile 20, I was having a hard time. And so I was like, okay, I got to do something to keep myself motivated. I went to my music on Spotify and I found this song. And I just have to share the words with you because it was perfect timing and perfect for what I needed to help me through the next miles that were before me. And the song's called Halfway Up the Mountain by Tribute Quartet. We have come too far to turn back now. There's an end in sight we see, and the Lord has brought us safe thus far with his grace and perfect peace. But too many battles have been lost with the finish line in sight. So let us keep the faith and win this race before the day turns into night. When you're halfway up the mountain, there's no time to rest a while. When you're halfway to your victory, you must go that extra mile. Just keep pressing on, though the road is long. When your feet get tired, still you must go on. When you're halfway up the mountain, just keep climbing to the top. Without back to every valley, low in the land of shadows dark, let our eyes be lifted to the skies, for the triumph shall be ours. We have been many times before, and we've never been alone. In every circumstance, he's not failed us yet. So let us just keep traveling on. When you're halfway up the mountain, there's no time to rest a while. When you're halfway to your victory, you must go that extra mile. Just keep pressing on, though the road is long. When your feet get tired, still you must go on. When you're halfway up the mountain. So the words to that song were amazing. And for me, it really helped me. And it helped me think about the journey we are on as a Christian. It gets very tough at times. We get very tired. And sometimes we just don't feel like going on. And that distance, that end is just in sight. And we need to make sure that we don't give up. And that song helped me not give up. I just kept plugging along. My oldest son decided, I'm just going to run ahead. So you just go ahead and stick with the car. So what we did is they would go forward a little bit so they could still see me. And as I passed them and went past so they couldn't see me again, they would go forward again. And we did this leapfrog for several miles until I made the destination to where we had the car parked. And it was around 27 miles. It seems impossible. I don't even know how I managed to make it, other than I had determination. And the Lord was beside me. And that is with anything in life. We have to have determination. And we can know that he will help us through any difficulty that is before us. And I am just so grateful for that no matter what comes into my life, what difficulty there is, that he is there and I can lean on him and he will help me. And until next time, keep healthy and God bless.